Well, Center for Spiritual Living licensed spiritual practitioners are people who have dedicated themselves to their own personal growth and to the service of others. They have a deep understanding of their spiritual nature and the spiritual nature of all. The spiritual nature of life, in fact. They have a deep and personal relationship with the divine. Practitioners embrace the entire community. Very often beyond the doors, the walls of this room, beyond the online, into the community itself. They expand with their consciousness skills, including teaching classes, serving in leadership positions, leading discussion groups and book studies, facilitating ceremonies, providing spiritual support for people in difficult situations. They are in prayer weekly for those that have requested prayer, and they conduct individual spiritual counseling sessions. So today you're going to hear from 5 practitioners on various aspects of personal power, our power within. Our first speaker is Karen Dunphy, speaking to us about the power of connection.
Thank you, Judy. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone here, online, around the planet, and especially in Ireland. It's a grand and happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you. And it's great to be Irish today. And with a name like Dunphy, you can imagine how Irish I am, just a wee bit, with plenty of the blarney, which is clever and flattering. As a recovering approval seeker. So on this fine day, I'm sharing some thoughts on the power of connection. So let's turn within, shall we, and become still. And we'll contemplate the power of connection. Your back upright, but not uptight. And allow your eyes to gently close if you're comfortable. Like the soft winter rains the past few days, let your focus rest on your breath, your connection to life itself. I know there is one mind, one power, one spirit, and I know that each of us is inseparably linked, inseparably connected with spirit, and connected in love. So our connection is like no other. Separated from our mother at birth, we spend the rest of our years longing for connection and love. Humans were designed for connection. We look for the newborn infant to fill its lungs and wail as a rite of passage. How brave the mother and her newborn child. They have separated, yet their new connection has just begun. Like a sprout peeking through a spring snow, the newborn is primed and ready for life, unafraid. With any luck, maybe 100 years, maybe 50, maybe 1. The connection between mother and child is like no other, second to none. Our connection with God is the same. God has the same love for us that a mother has for her child. We are children of the divine masculine and feminine, loving parents in a loving universe. So today I say, Mother, Father, God, we thank you for this day, this life, and the gift of connection. May your heart feel your unique connection with God. May you be free from suffering. May you be loved. And may you be happy. And I will close with the traditional Irish prayer on this lovely St. Patrick's Day. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of her hand. And so it is. Have a beautiful day, everyone, filled with love and connection. And I'll introduce our next speaker, licensed spiritual practitioner Kelly Marshall, speaking to us this morning on the power of community. Kelly?
Wow, thank you, Karen. That was very powerful. Well, it is my turn this morning. I am so pleased to see all of you here today to share a little bit about the power of community and what that means to me and what that means to me as a practitioner as well. The first thing I would like to do today, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I'm not dressed the way I normally am when I attend service here. My family and I are going to be leaving just after 11 o'clock for what's become an annual tradition to go to a Golden Knights game this particular weekend in March. And this year it is in celebration of my husband Chris's 21st year of sobriety as of yesterday. That is commitment. And we are so grateful for it. Well, as you've probably found out over your time attending CSLGLV, practitioners are more than volunteers. And when we talk about community, I could stand up here and talk a story after story after story of all of the things that I know that practitioners have done to assist our community as we are in this building and our community at large where we all live. From this center's beginning as First Church of Religious Science up until today, we continue to all make impacts on those that join us on Sundays, our friends and our neighbors who don't even know we exist here together, and our city and beyond. And thinking about this talk today, I did come to the realization in a great state of gratitude for all of the people who are not practitioners, who participate in rising up in our community together as well. from our beginnings back in Las Vegas as the first church of religious science established in 1950s, one of those original founders, Bertha Ronzone, credited her success to prayer, faith, and determination. And that is the same, I think, as practitioners, and I know speaking for myself. Prayer, faith, and action are the three things that carry me through not just happy times, but difficult times as well. And when I say we, I'm not just talking again about practitioners that wear a stole. I'm including everyone who lives a life built on the foundation of our spiritual principles, the ones who believe in the power of one. And when thinking of ways we show up, I couldn't have helped but remember 1 October, that tragic event in 2017 when over 1,000 rounds of rapid gunfire disrupted a beautiful fall evening down on the Strip. Many practitioners immediately felt the call. They participated first in prayer, second in action. We all knew someone touched by that incident. Practitioners showed up at the hospitals to be with those who were affected, to pray with families who were waiting for outcomes of their loved ones. Practitioners volunteered to help people in crisis, to counsel those experiencing trauma from the aftermath. And we continue, even to this day, to help anyone that still carries grief, trauma, and sadness. At that same time, here in Las Vegas, the Golden Knights, our newest hometown team, were beginning their inaugural year. For those looking for something after experiencing the tragedy of that day, many found it in something to cheer for. A glimmer of light in our Sin City, filled with sadness. And when Chris and I decided to get our hockey sweaters, there's no better number or name for me. The number 11, symbolizing new beginnings and an alignment with spiritual energies. And namaste. The divine in me bows to the divine in you. A recognition of our power and our oneness. So today, as you leave here, I want you to remember, as fans, we cheer on our home teams. As practitioners, we cheer for our people. When you are celebrating, we are on the bench or the sidelines celebrating with you. In times where you might feel lost or alone, we are the ones holding that sacred space, recognizing the spiritual truth in all situations, even if you can't see it or feel it or don't feel worthy of it. We are with you. We are your biggest cheerleaders. So remember that as you step out into the world today, and know that you are never alone. We are here for you, always. And so it is. Namaste. I'd like to introduce Ms. Kaleti White, bringing us the power of spiritual practice.
Today, I am the embodiment of spiritual practice. So Judah Petit came up to me this morning and she said, Reverend Laura wants all of us to sit down front. I said, I'm ushering. Sit down front? Why? And then someone off on the side said something about, this is Practitioner Sunday. And I said, oh my God, I think I'm on that program. So today, I am the embodiment of spiritual practice. So the power of spiritual practice allows the law of God acting through me to make my thought creative. I had to spring into action. I had to make that happen. I had not prepared for this program. So I had to make my thought creative. That's what spiritual practice does. I practice every morning. I write, I read, I pray, and that makes life easier all the time. The power of spiritual practice makes me aware that divine intelligence is acting through my affairs all the time. I didn't have a stove. Justin did. I said, Justin, can I have your stove? He gave it to me. So acting in my affairs all the time. I purchased a house in 2005. That house became the home for me and for my great niece. My great niece was in and out whenever she needed to be. That house freed both of us last year. This year, in January, Jasmine decided to move on to her next expression. And because the house had freed me, I decided to move on to this wonderful new phase in my life. So that's what spiritual practice does. It allows you to be free, to be ready, to be prepared. The power that creates and sustains everything is now creating everything necessary for my new happiness, my new health, my new abundance. Spiritual prayer is powerful and it works. It works all the time. You have to work it. So now, to Jasmine, may God hold you in the palm of her hands. That is my prayer for Jasmine as she has moved on to her next expression. Spiritual prayer allowed me to get to the point that I could say that to her and that I could say this about my own freedom. Practice, practice, practice. I am so grateful for the creative law. I am so grateful for this divine intelligence. I'm so grateful for my life. I am so grateful in my evolving spiritual practice. And so it is. Right now, I would like to welcome to the podium Debbie Little, who is going to talk to us about the power of choice.
It says oneness, but I'm doing choice. I know, it was no, Debbie, no, yes. I switched it up. I am so in awe of my fellow practitioners and the way that they are speaking, and just to be a part of this group. It is like coming home every time I meet them, hug them, and just be a part of this group. So I decided to talk on the power of choice because we are the culmination of every decision, of every choice that we have made in life. And this is where we are right now from all the choices that we have made. A wonderful thing about having choice and the power to choose is that at any moment we can make another choice. You can change it because you are in the driver's seat. And you can actively and intentionally pursue different options for yourself. Because every day we make a choice, unknowingly and knowingly. Like, what am I going to eat for breakfast? Or what am I going to wear to work? That's always a big choice. Change about 1,000,000 times. And then there's some heavier ones like, is this job working for me? Do I need to make a change in my life? Or what friends do I need to be around me to support me in life? So it's a huge part of our self-development to make these choices, and every choice that you make shapes you, your experience, and brings you to where you are in life. There is a quote from the book, A Man's Search for Meaning. And everything that can be taken away from us, but there's one thing that can't be, and that's our attitude. How are we going to experience a challenge or something in our life? They cannot take that away from you. It is the freedom to change everything in an instant. It's a critical life lesson to remember that you have control of what you do next. Even in the darkest moments of your life, you can still choose to how you're going to look at that situation and how you're going to respond to it. It's easy to get caught up into the pain of a tough situation, have a little pity party, or you can reframe that experience in those challenging experiences. You can choose to act and react to difficult moments in a positive way, allowing room for self-development, growth, and learning. If you're unsure of what changes need to be made to arrive at decisions, there's one thing that you can do, is self-reflection. There are some questions that you can ask yourself that'll bring you to a deeper recognition of who you are. Why am I unhappy in this situation? Where do I want to be instead? What are some changes that I can make on how I'm behaving that will get me closer to this place that I have identified for myself? Between stimulus and response, there is space. In that space, the power to choose is our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. When you know who you are and the values that you accept in your life, then you have a firm foundation in which to make decisions about how to handle life's challenges. The choices you make are much richer, more meaningful, and more rewarding. You feel like you are being the best self that you can be. And that is the power and the beauty of choice. There is a choice that you have to make in everything you do. So keep in mind that in the end, the choice you make makes you. Even when we choose not to make a decision, we are still making that choice that can have an impact on the people around us and yourself. So let's embrace the power of choice. Frame out decisions and create the future that you want for yourself. In any given moment, we have two options. We can step forward in growth, or we can step back into the safety of our comfort zone. It's up to you. And there's some choices that sometimes maybe we forget about. Sometimes with the people around us. How many times did I say thank you today? How am I celebrating others and myself? What is motivating me right now, and what will keep me motivated? Whom have I neglected to appreciate out loud? And what efforts of others have I overlooked? Which two people will I do something specific for this week? And am I more often sharing criticism or praise? So you have that choice. You have that culmination of all those choices. But in any moment, you can make another choice for yourself. So thank you. I appreciate you. So right now, I would like to welcome Valerie Weiner, who's going to talk on the power of self-empowerment.
As I sat there, I realized how connection is showing up, because I'm going to talk about the power of choice as well through empowerment. It is so big that this is a PS to a lot of what Debbie has so brilliantly shared with us. During the summer of 2020, as the COVID pandemic was taking us on, I faced an even bigger challenge in a personal way. I stepped beyond my own comfort zone to offer a bold suggestion I didn't know if I was prepared for, but I made the suggestion anyway. As a founder and president of a Nevada nonprofit, Public Service NV, I asked my board not to temporarily put on hold the work we were doing with the youth of our community. I asked them to allow me to pursue my own creativity beyond what was comfortable. So rather than going into classrooms to teach children about civic engagement, I was almost on bent knee pleading, please let me find a way to do it virtually. This truly was way above me. And so typically we would have young people do projects. I would teach the Serve, Learn, Inspire curriculum in the classroom, and then we'd encourage the young people to take what they learned and put it to work in the community, and we would honor them with the gratitude awards. There's no mistake about that, by the way. That's an important word for us as well. And so in requesting this shift, I had to release my fear of the unknown. I didn't know technology, and embrace the possibility of going beyond, going into the ether to reach young people. And so I chose to embrace my own empowerment, to expand my options, to reach these young people virtually. My power of choice invited me to soar. And so what was the result? In that fall semester, I was privileged to teach 531 students in 18 classrooms. And rather than having them do a project respecting the need for safety, we offered them the opportunity to create plans for a project. And so of those 531, 57 of them created 21 plans for projects to serve this community. Going beyond my fear, allowing my power of choice to help me be bigger. And through my own power of choice, I learned many lessons. And one that continues to grow is one I share with the students every year, and I would like and feel privileged to share with you. So keep in mind that this is the language I would share in the classroom. No person on this planet or elsewhere can give you empowerment because you already have it. I often think of empowerment as empowerment because it is within each of us always. During the exchanges I have with the young people, I can teach you, I can lead you, I can encourage you, I can challenge you, I can demonstrate, I can motivate, I can provide opportunities, I can nudge you, I can drag you, I can do a lot of very lofty words. And you still have that choice, that power of choice, that empowerment, that empowerment to say yes or no. And with every breath we inhale, we have that power of choice. And so at this point, I would encourage the young people to make the choice, encouragement, all those lofty verbs again, to say yes to serving the community. So today I'm reminded that empowerment, or our power of choice, provides the space and the energy for us to evolve, breath by breath, moment by moment. And each choice is anchored in knowledge, beliefs, emotions, experiences, observations, memories, and how else we are influenced by this moment. And we are invited to process our own evolution through our power of choice. And we have that power to release what does not serve us, to embrace that which does. Empowerment guides us through the present moments and prepares us for what's next. And through our choices, we design our own life path. Individual life path. And each of us can take the steps on that path to elevate our own lives through our own power of choice, and through that, positively influence countless people around us, those we know and those we don't know. So examples of how this empowerment works have been shared by my colleagues, my practitioner family. The power of connection, the power of community, the power of spiritual practice, and the power of oneness. So in this moment and all those that follow, breath by breath, I invite, there's a strong verb there, each of us to choose what we are called to be and what we are called to do. However large or small, whatever that choice might be, it's all big. It's all big. Because we're exercising our own empowerment to say yes to serving the highest good for ourselves and others. In gratitude, there's that word again, namaste, and so it is. Normally at this time, Reverend Laura gifts us with affirmative prayer we call spiritual mind treatment, interchangeable descriptors. Today we're going to expand this experience. Our practitioners will line up in front of this podium, and we invite you to come forward to receive prayer when I give you the signal. This prayer might involve something that you are seeking support to experience or claim, or to validate and affirm and elevate something for which you're grateful. With affirmative prayer, the practitioner will focus on the power of truth and all ways that truth is showing up in, through, and as each of us. Would the practitioners, if there are any remaining, please come forward. I believe you took the cue early. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ever early, not always. My dad always said, if you're on time, you're late. So I think we all have the same message growing up. Joe Blom, our technical director, will show a list of God qualities on the screen. Consider these qualities and choose one that captures what you would like the practitioner to focus on during your affirmative prayer. When those of you seeking prayer are ready, please form a line in the center aisle, and practitioner Sheila Callum will start the affirmative prayer with the first two steps, recognition and unification. Then you will go to the one practitioner based on the God quality that you have selected, share that with the practitioner, and the prayer will be yours. Please select a practitioner that does not have someone in front of them. When everyone is complete, Sheila will close the prayer. Once your prayer is done, please go to the side aisle and go back to your seat. And when everyone is complete, Sheila will close the prayer with step 4, thanksgiving, and step 5, release. Sheila will now begin the affirmative prayer.
Thank you, Valerie. And as you step forward, please give the practitioner in front of you that you select your name so that they can pray personally for you. And in this moment, I would just like to take a deep cleansing breath, knowing that right here and right now, we are in sacred space. That there is only one power and one present active in the universe and in my life and in those of each of you, and that one I call God. For God is the source and the supply of all life, all forms of manifestation. It is that creative intelligence pouring forth its love, peace, abundance, wholeness, and beauty through every single one because of its own infinite creativity. All the qualities of God exist within me as I am made in its image and likeness. I am an individualized center of the one, and everything that God is, I am. I am. I am. God is that guiding light and a lamp unto my feet. It is my internal GPS. And all that I know that is true for me, I know is true for every beloved in this space. Every single one of us is empowered by the presence of God. I invite each of you to now come forward and select one of the practitioners for prayer.